similar to what I was talking about in regard to the Delta. I love the way you just do it. That smile, I love it. I had to recognize you. What is your name, please?
Clara James.
I'll give Clara James some. I'm looking at her and she's smiling and she's just in tune, you know. Thank you, I appreciate that. I have to say that, you know, just the way I am. Okay, so we now looking at that paw of the duck, okay? So the first, by the way, when it comes to government, they only communicate with you via forms. So form for this, form for that. So now they got 5 schedules. Now remember, I showed you the Delta. You know exactly where you are right now in your mind's eye. So now we have 5 schedules, you see, in the paperwork, that we must choose, especially those of us who are in the profession of preparing people's taxes, we must choose where you qualify, okay? Where you qualify. So I'm going to move right along, and I'm going to show you the next one. This one says Schedule 2. See, I know the schedule, I know the form, and it has different items here that may or may not apply to you. Let's move it right along. Number 3, it says non-refundable credits. That's Schedule 3, okay? It also has different lines, different items that, as I said before, may be tributaries into the main river, okay? Now, Schedule 4 says all the taxes. There may be taxes, for example, how many of you work for yourselves like I do? Wow, that's great. I am sure you understand when I say self-employment tax, right? Hey, it goes right in there, okay? And there are ways to minimize that liability also as we go along. Lord willing, I'll have enough time. And this is number 5. This is the last schedule. The same outcome. All these different tributaries and all these different items that come from different activity that a taxpayer may have. All right. No, I don't want to get into the conclusion yet. Because of what happened here. Here we go again, Emanuel. You might need to help me.
That's all right.
They understand, believe me, they understand. Bring it to application. We already did the application. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. I don't want to get into the conclusion yet because now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the complication of this tax law. Woo, that's exciting, isn't it? Okay, yes, yeah, I love that. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like. Better yet, I'm going to show you something else before I show you this. I'm going to show you this. This is what this new tax law looks like. At the beginning, it had 1,000 pages. Hello, like they say in California. As you know, I'm not from California. But it is a lot of lawyers wrote this. It's mind-boggling. So my wife said to me, there's nobody's going to read that. You know? In Spanish, it's, nadie va a leer eso. You know? So I just wanted to give you a feel of it. You see it? It is pages after pages after pages. What you can do, you cannot do. They use this word threshold, you know, and I had to look at the dictionary and see what exactly is that. It's like a door before you get into the next door. It's complicated, you know. So that gives you an idea. So let's go and get this simplified and applied perhaps to your individual situations. I'm learning. That's good. I'm learning. I borrowed this from a National Association of Tax Professionals. I'm a member of the association. And I really like what they've done here because it simplifies the issue and it gets into the specifics of this tax law. All those 500 pages that I showed you, people who are in the profession say they drink a lot of coffee. You know, whenever they read that. here, I'm going to give you really quick that it starts with brackets. Brackets. I'm just going to pause a little bit here, and I'm going to ask anybody this. I'm going to ask it in Spanish. ¿Cuántas personas aquí no hablan el idioma inglés? Giancarlos. You and I can get together. Tú y yo nos podemos hablar después, so it's good to see. Because it will take a lot of energy for me to continue to do this, to do simultaneously all of this. Believe me, it is a lot of energy. Anyway, but I'm going to talk. Voy a hablar contigo después, so Giancarlos. Okay, so it tells you what I said at the very beginning. On December 22nd, 2017, President Trump signed into law the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Now, it breaks it down into three pieces. One is the individual pieces, and it has, as I said, different brackets. As you can see, depending on what your adjustable income. See, income has different ways to explain, to identify, according to the tax law and according to the Internal Revenue. This is nothing new, according to the Treasury. So we have to understand what this is all about. You want to get to the point where you are at the taxable income, meaning you've gone through all those tributaries. You've gone all through ins and outs, as I was showing you with the delta. How many of you like the idea of the delta? Is that helping you? Really, you like it? Thank you. Okay, so this gives you an idea that the individuals will pay a certain tax at a certain level of income. Now, those people who happen to be married, you are in for a big surprise. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. There's something that's called, yes, you're right. He's going like, whew. What is your name, please? Chris, thank you, Chris. You see, he's participating, the young lady over here participating. It's giving me more energy. It's giving me more energy. So anyway, thank you very much for participating. So those people who are married, good for you, because it's going to help you a lot. Now, do you have any children? Oh, wow. Children, they are a blessing. Let me show you why. But before I go any further,
One on the making.
Say that again?
One on the making.
You moving forward. See, Uncle Sam loves kids. They love kids, and I'm going to show you why. Well, I'm going to move really quick with this one because it's a little bit complex. See, there we go with the child tax credit. It says the child tax credit will increase to $2,000. Aren't you happy about that? So that's really good, and like I said, I'm going to have to move pretty quick here. However, there are things. What happened to this thing? Where are you? My finger is too. Thank you, Emanuel. Did it go all the way to the bottom?
Control home.
You got some savvy people. See, it went. Let's see, tax rates. You guys are such a great audience. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, man. Thank you. So, you get the idea? What happens in the different classifications that you are aware of? By the way, if you're single, watch out. Here's another classification. It's called head of household. The head of household is a type of classification that has been under scrutiny by the Internal Revenue. You know why? This is crazy, but it's true. I've heard in a couple of cases. In order to qualify for head of household, you have to have kids and not, your significant other. You're by yourself. You're a single mom, single dad. They found, at least that I somewhere remember reading about and learning about, some individual was claiming to be the head of household because he had 4 or 5 dogs. You know what happened to him, right?
Where was their social security numbers?
Hey, that's a good question. We would have to, have you over for dinner with my wife, because that's a long explanation, because there are those people who just don't think that, the law is going to come after them. In the old literature that I've read, it says something like this. It says that we are subjective to the authorities, because if we don't do what is right, they have the avenger. The avenger. Correct, Pastor Tom? The avenger was going to come after you and give you the wrath of God. That's true. That's in the old literature. Now, who does that? The IRS. Okay, great, moving right along. And this is something I tell everybody, whether you like it or not, taxes go hand in hand with death. So at the end of the road, after you run this 10 years, because it will last 10 years, sooner or later, you're going to start thinking about your farewell. So it's better to get your act together as soon as you can, organizing all your information, seeing a professional attorney so he or she can write a trust and an estate for you. Because even dead people have to file taxes. Okay, let's see. See what else I need to say. I hope that by the end of this brief presentation that you're enjoying it. And then one of the things that I would like to do is dedicate the rest of the evening to you asking me questions or coming up with ideas. And if I don't have the answer, because I don't have the answer to all these things, they're so complex, I will research it for you and get back with you on that. And as a result of my appreciation of you doing that, I have a prize for you. For every month of the year, I have a bottle of wine. So, Erica, oh, there's Erica. Would you please wave at Erica? She's worked so hard and helping me out. She has, our little friend, a little piggy bank. Does anybody remember having a piggy bank? Well, remember, this is also about, at the end of the road, is about saving money. So we have written your names since you came in, and we're going to pull out a name from there, and if it is you, you get a bottle of wine, but you have to participate. You have to ask us some questions. Okay, so, you ready, Erica? See, that's pretty much the end of the facts. Remember, the application meaning the facts, and then I'm going to give you my conclusion, my recommendation, and then you guys are going to participate and get some bottles of wine.
Can I have the piggy instead of the wine?
No, that's my piggy.
My grandbaby runs for it.
Okay, let's see where I am. Yes, here I am. Conclusion. The new law helps those who have their own business. Business is the key here. So whether you have a business or not, start thinking about having one, because the tax law now will love you a lot. There's something that's called QBI, Qualified Business Income. which is 20% if you qualify. Usually all those entities that have a sole proprietorship, that means you own business, a partnership, a corporation, all those individual complex type of returns will have a lot of benefits with this new tax law. Because the literature shows that prior to this tax law, businesses were paying 37% of their taxable income. Now, guess what? 21%. And if you have someone who is an astute, scholar, like yours truly, I'm just kidding. You just will do, I tell people, I'm like a hamster when it comes to taxes. I will look into a little cheese here, a little cheese there. I will go ahead and look into all those tributaries that you've seen on the Delta to do what? To cut taxes, to save money. Now, you see, the whole idea is that with this new tax law is that it is going to stimulate the economy. So the government is going to give you all the credits that you can imagine if you are a participant in stimulating the economy. Unfortunately, this is the type of law that you can look at it like receiving flowers. This month was the month of flowers. I gave my mom, gave my wife some flowers at home. This is a flower month. It helped me to remember part of this law, believe it or not. Why? Because in addition to the flowers, the roses, I'm sure all the ladies here love red roses. You do. I know you do. You will also have to watch out when you pick up that rose because it's got some thorns. So put that idea into work when you apply the new tax law as well. Having said all of this, here's my recommendation. Remember, after this, we're going to participate. We're going to distribute some bottles of wine. You're going to ask me some questions. If I have the answer right away, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. If not, give me your name, phone number, address, email, whatever, and I'll research the information for you. I guarantee you I will. Okay? So my recommendation is, in regard to this new tax law, is to open your own small business. Small business. Have a timeline. Remember, it's a 10-year tax law, so know where you're going to start the race and prepare for the end. Okay? Also, have an accounting system. It could be something very simple, but now with the new technology, you can go to your Excel program and start putting things together as you go along. Let me give you an example. I had a client of mine who was audited 3 times. 3 times. When they put that red flag on you, watch out.
Oh my.
And you know what was the biggest issue with them? That this client of mine did not write a log of where he went, what he did, or what was the purpose of that specific trip. So it's all about documentation, documentation, documentation. And on top of that, organization, organization, organization. So that should be part of the entire plan that you have, which is an accounting system. If you don't have the time to do such thing, hire somebody to do your bookkeeping and get together with that person on at least once a month. Now, last but not least, become a member tonight of our chamber. We have so much to give. We want to help people help us. And just like I'm standing here, I'm not Peruvian, but I met Lisbon. He and I clicked from the very moment, we met. And then I met Sharon and some of the other people. Mr. Vera. Mr. Vera, would you raise your hand, please? He was the old president. I'm not saying you old, I'm just saying the previous president. These people, I met Raul. Raul, would you please stand there? He's the CPA right here. Would you recognize Raul? He's the vice president of the chamber. We have a tremendous group of people who are